Welcome to SR Concepts. I am Ravi Verma and this is the third video of the chapter number 6, that is combustion and flame from your NCERT textbook of science for class 8th. So in this video we are going to start with the topic flame. So dear students, you see that many fuels produce flame when they burn. For example, kerosene produces a flame, candle wax produces a flame, and LPG also produces a flame when they burn, right? So when these things burn, they produce flame, but they may have different colors. For example, LPG has a blue color, and the candle has a mixture of colors, like it may have yellow, orange, or blue color also. Okay, now there are certain things which do not produce flame when they burn. For example, if we talk about coal or charcoal, they do not produce a flame. So this is the question: what is a flame, why it is produced, and why certain substances do not produce a flame. So this all will be answered here in this discussion. So in order to understand why a flame is produced, we have to discuss the activity number 6.5. In this activity, we will burn a candle and bring a glass tube near its wick. So one end of the glass tube will be near the wick, as you can see here, right? So when you will bring a burning matchstick near the other end, you will see a very small flame being produced near the another end of the glass tube. What is the reason? We can conclude here, we can have an idea here that certain vapors are being produced near the wick of the candle. Certain vapors. So these wax vapors actually are being produced, and when they enter into the glass tube and when they come in contact with the burning matchstick, they start burning like a flame, as being shown here. So from this discussion we got to know that this flame is being produced because of wax vapors. So we can say when a candle burns, then the flame is because of burning wax vapors. So this is true for all types of flames, that a flame is produced whenever something gets vaporized and then it burns. So when the vapors of certain things burn, they represent themselves, or they are seen as a flame. So what is a flame? We can say that flame is actually burning vapors, right? So the substances which vaporize during burning, they give flames. For example, this is a wood, and if the wood is burning and giving a flame, this is because certain substances on being very hot become vaporized, they convert into vapors, and when these vapors burn, they produce a flame. Okay, now when we have got to know what is a flame, now why certain substances do not produce a flame. For example, when you burn charcoal or coal, they do not produce a flame. The reason is that in charcoal or coal, nothing vaporizes and burns, and this is why the flame is not being produced. Now let us understand about the structure of a candle flame. So there are different zones in the candle flame. For example, this outermost zone, this is called outermost zone, and this is blue in color. Dear students, this is the hottest zone. What is the reason? Because in the outermost zone there is enough amount of oxygen available, and because of this available oxygen, the wax vapors burn completely. So there is complete combustion. Complete combustion of the wax vapors. So when there is complete combustion, right, there is maximum temperature in this zone, and this is why this is the hottest part or hottest zone of the candle flame. So again, if we conclude that outermost zone is blue in color and hottest because of maximum oxygen or sufficient oxygen is available, and because of this complete combustion of the wax vapors taking place, and this is why this is hottest zone. Now when we move into the middle of the candle flame, this is called middle zone. This is called middle zone. But in this zone, my dear, as you know that the most of the oxygen has been utilized in the outer zone, right, outermost zone. So in the middle zone there is low amount of oxygen, low or lesser amount of oxygen. Okay, so in the middle zone there is insufficient amount of oxygen, and because of this the wax vapors do not burn completely, means they burn partially. So we can say there is a partial combustion of wax vapors, and because of partial combustion the wax vapors turns into, or in the wax vapors, when the wax vapors do not burn completely, certain carbon particles are produced. Carbon particles are produced which remain unburnt. Okay, and when these unburnt carbon particles become very hot, they start producing glow, and because of this, this zone is called luminous zone. Luminous zone. So once again I should revise this, that the middle zone in the middle zone there is lesser amount of oxygen or insufficient amount of oxygen available, and because of this there is partial combustion of wax vapors, and during partial combustion of wax vapors certain unburnt carbon particles are produced which on being very hot start producing glow, and this is why the middle zone is also called luminous zone. And because of incomplete combustion or partial combustion of wax vapors, the temperature is lesser than the outermost zone, and this is why this is moderately hot zone. Now if we talk about the zone that is near the candle wick, right, near the candle wick, you will find that this is the darkest zone. So this is why this is called dark zone. This is called dark zone. Why this is dark zone? Because all the oxygen has been utilized in outer and middle zone, so there is no oxygen available in this zone, right? So because of no oxygen there is no combustion, there is no combustion of wax vapors, there is no combustion of wax vapors. So because there is no combustion, this is the least hot zone, and this is dark because there is no combustion, there is no burning. So that's why this is dark, and that's why this is very cold, means this has least temperature, or this is least hot zone of the candle flame. So if we summarize it, then outermost zone has complete combustion and it is the hottest zone. Middle zone has partial combustion of the wax vapors, it is moderately hot, and the innermost zone is dark zone, right, and this is least hot. Okay, and in this zone there is unburnt wax vapors, means wax vapors do not burn in this zone because of there is no oxygen. Now when you have learned about the features of different zones of a candle flame, let us have some practical applications of this fact. Okay, so if you bring a glass plate or a slide, a microscopic slide, right, microbiological slide, in the middle zone of the candle flame and hold it for around 10 seconds, you will see that a black spot has been formed. A rounded spot of black color has been formed. This is because of deposition of unburnt carbon particles. So these are the unburnt carbon particles which were present in the middle zone. So this black spot is because of unburnt carbon particles which are produced in the middle zone or luminous zone of the candle flame. Now bring a copper wire into the luminous zone or into the flame of a candle. You will see that the part of the copper wire outside, just outside the candle flame or near the outermost zone of the candle flame, has become red hot. All right, so that part of the copper wire that is near the outermost zone has been red hot. This is because the outermost zone is the hottest zone. That's why that part that is a little bit outer to the flame, right, that part of the copper wire becomes red hot. Now, another application of this fact is that you see a goldsmith, right? Whenever you will visit a goldsmith, you will see that it has a blowpipe, and he has a blowpipe, right? And he is blowing the outermost zone of the of the flame, right? Outermost zone of the flame onto the gold or silver, which need to be molten, right? So to melt gold or silver, a goldsmith blows just the outermost zone of the flame, the outermost zone of the flame. Why is this so? Because in the outermost zone there is complete combustion, and this is the hottest zone of the flame. So dear students, I hope you have got all the concepts related to the flame and the zones of a flame. Now another very important topic, that is fuel efficiency. Fuel efficiency, how efficient is the fuel in producing heat? So what is a fuel? Any substance which gives heat on burning, right, is a fuel. For example, LPG, wood, coal, these all are fuels. Suppose you have to boil water. Which fuel you would like to use? You would use cow dung cakes, you would use wood, petrol, diesel, or LPG, whatever what you will select. So your selection will be based on the characteristics of the fuel. So if we talk about a very good fuel, that is called an ideal fuel, right? It has different characteristics. So if we talk about fuel efficiency is the measure of how much amount of heat energy is being produced by a unit amount, by burning of a unit amount of fuel. So the definition of fuel efficiency is actually from calorific value. So there is a term calorific value, which is the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kilogram fuel, right? And this is called calorific value. So how many kilojoules of heat is being produced on burning 1 kilogram of a fuel is called calorific value. For example, if we talk about LPG and wood, then wood will produce lesser number of calories or lesser number of energy, lesser amount of energy on burning 1 kilogram of wood as compared to LPG. So what is calorific value? This is the amount of heat energy produced on complete combustion of 1 kilogram of fuel. So dear students, here is the table. Here you can see in the table, right, the calorific value of different fuels has been given. You see that the maximum amount of calories is being produced by burning 1 kilogram of hydrogen. But if you burn 1 kilogram of LPG, then 55,000 kilojoule energy or heat energy will be produced. And if we talk about wood, then only 17,000 to 22,000 kilojoule heat energy will be produced on burning 1 kilogram of each of them, right? So you see the unit in which calorific value is measured is kilojoule per kilogram, means how many kilojoule energy is being produced on burning 1 kilogram of a fuel. So this is an indication, the calorific value is an indication of the fuel efficiency. Alright, so how efficient is a fuel is indicated by its high calorific value. So here we can see that the most efficient fuel is hydrogen and the least efficient fuel is cow dung cake, because on burning 1 kilogram of hydrogen produces maximum amount of heat. Okay, so higher the calorific value, higher the fuel efficiency of the fuel. Okay, now dear students, if we talk about burning of fuels, especially wood, coal, diesel, petrol, kerosene, right? So when a fuel burns, it produces certain harmful substances. Okay, especially the fossil fuels produce a large amount of harmful substances. For example, when you burn wood and coal, or you burn petroleum, then a large amount of unburned carbon particles, as we have discussed already in the candle flame, that some unburned carbon particles are produced. So when you burn petrol, diesel, kerosene, wood, coal, right, a large amount of fine particles of carbon is produced, and these are very harmful. They may cause respiratory diseases such as asthma. Now if we talk about another harmful effect of burning of these fuels, so it is that they produce carbon monoxide gas when they burn. So when you burn petrol, diesel, coal, right, they may produce carbon, they actually produce carbon monoxide gas, and this is very dangerous, this is very poisonous gas. And this is why people discuss that we should not sleep in a room where coal is being burnt, right? So what is written, oh, so this is, that is why we are advised never to sleep in a room with burning or smoldering coal fire in it. Okay, so never sleep in a room where you are burning something and it is closed from all sides, because carbon monoxide is being produced and it will harm you. Okay, now another very major disadvantage of burning of these fuels is that they cause global warming. So whenever you burn a carbon containing fuel like petrol, diesel, coal and wood, right, whenever you burn an organic fuel, right, they produce carbon dioxide, they produce dioxide carbon dioxide, and this is called greenhouse gas, major greenhouse gas. And because of increased greenhouse effect, it is causing global warming. You have discussed this topic also. And what is global warming? It is the rise in average temperature of the earth, and because of this you see that polar glaciers or polar ice is melting, and because of this the level of sea is increasing, and the coastal areas are suffering from floods, right? And sometimes some low lying areas may become permanently submerged under water. So burning of fossil fuels is a major cause of global warming that may cause floods in many areas and disturbance in the water cycle also. Now, another harmful effect of burning petrol, diesel, and especially the coal is the acid rain. So, when you burn petrol, diesel, coal, they produce oxides of nitrogen like nitrogen dioxide and oxides of sulfur like sulfur dioxide. So, when they react with water of the air, right, they produce acids such as HNO3, right? Or they produce sulfuric acid H2SO4. So this acid, these acids come along with the water in the rain, so the rain becomes acidic, then it is called acidic rain. And the acidic rain is very much harmful for your buildings, your cars, your properties, and especially the soil. It is harmful to the soil also, it is harmful for the crop plants also, it is harmful for the aquatic organisms also, because the water in the water bodies become acidic. So dear students, this is all the harmful effect of burning of fossil fuels, right? And dear students, initially earlier we used to burn wood as a fuel, right? But later on, the nowadays the wood has been replaced by LPG and petrol also, right? And many other fuels we use like CNG also, right? Even today, many villagers use wood as a fuel because wood is very easily available and it is very cheap. But burning of wood is very harmful to us because it produces a lot of smoke and many harmful gases. So when you burn wood, it produces smoke and that contains those carbon particles, and this is, they are very means harmful for us. They cause respiratory problems. Okay, so moreover, when you start cutting trees for obtaining wood, you know, trees give a large number of useful products, right? And also it leads to deforestation, and deforestation leads to many problems. We'll be learning about them in 7th chapter also. What is the harmful effect of deforestation? So we should minimize the use of wood as a fuel, because on burning of wood, right, a large amount of carbon particles and harmful gases are produced, and because of burning of wood we are cutting the trees, and that is called deforestation, and that is again a cause of environmental problems. So dear students, this is all for this video, this for this chapter. So we have discussed the theoretical portion of this chapter, right? In the next video we will discuss about the NCERT question answers. Okay, nowadays another important thing is that nowadays CNG is being promoted for being used as a fuel for motor vehicles, because CNG is one of the most clean fuel, and it does not produce any almost very less harmful substances. It does not cause air pollution, and this is why the CNG is being produced, promoted for being used as a fuel. Thanks for watching this video, and keep learning. Do not waste your time. Okay, learn things in a concrete manner. Okay, try to learn the concept and not just to memorize the things. Thank you.